Grace is not something you can hold in your hand, but it's something that you can't mistake when you see it in a life. It's obvious that a life has been totally transformed and turned around. And that should be the effect that grace should have on you. I heard about elephants, and often when you go see an elephant, you see them chained up at maybe a circus setting. You think, why don't they have that elephant chained to a huge block of concrete or maybe a wall? And sometimes they're chained to just this simple little stake, wooden stake in the ground. And yet that elephant, although it has the power to pull away and to free itself, it doesn't do it. I wonder, why doesn't that elephant take advantage of its power and set itself free? Well, the reason is, when it was a young elephant, it was secured to things. And it learned over and over that it could not break that chain, as it would pull against the chain and pull against the chain. And after it had gone through this repeated reinforcement that the chain was going to hold, it never really forced itself against the chain. It'll even stretch out for food, and it'll hold that leg that's attached to the chain up so it won't pull too hard against it, because it knows it's in vain. It cannot escape that chain that holds it. There are a lot of people that when Christ comes into their life, it should be more than enough to set them free. And yet for some reason they remain attached to chains of the old life. They don't set themselves free. And Paul says over and over, just read the book of Galatians, that Christ has set you free. Don't go back to the things of the world that keeps them in bondage to sin. And I think Paul is a demonstration of how a person has been set free from the old life. And we should never remain in bondage. And just because we've had past failures of trying to escape a certain thing and we haven't had success, we need to recognize that the grace of God is able to deliver us from sin. And we should never cease trying, but we should always just go deeper into God's grace and find out His freeing power.